Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures Etc. and I'm glad you're here. So I have made it a goal to every weekend I am going to work on my scraps and just try to utilize some of the things that I've been kind of holding back from projects and things like that. Just scraps that we save up, book pages and packaging and tags and things like that. Clothing tags is what I'm talking about. And so I have a few examples of some things that I've done already. And so I just took some clothing tags and made a couple of little tags for a mini journal that I've been working on. Here's another one with some fussy cutting on them. Basically just book page and some scrap fabric, stamps, some vintage paper that I put on here to make a little journaling card. And then we also have this little tag here, and I had some, random little tiny pieces of book page left over, so I made some little circles, cut out some circles, and made these little dangles and put some liquid pearls on there. Some more book page music sheet on the back. And then this was a clothing tag, and I covered, again, both sides of it, did a little bit of liquid pearls on it, added a word, and then some more fuzzy cutting and things like that on the back. So what I thought I would do is try to do some of this on camera and just take you along and see if you can have some fun doing this with me. So I went into my drawer of packaging and I pulled out some random little pieces. This is from a tissue box, some clothing tags. This is some packaging from some embellishments that I bought, and another little clothing tag. So I just thought, well, let's see what we can make with these. I also brought along my some things that I had fussy cut from some book pages from some Golden Book encyclopedias that I gutted and cut some of the nicest images out and spent some time in front of the TV fussy cutting them. And also my drawer from my cart, mostly book pages, but I also have some wallpaper here and different things like that. So I thought I would just start grabbing in here and see what I can come up with. So let's set these aside, and I'm going to see what I can get done in 30 minutes. So I've seen some other YouTubers do that, and I thought it would be fun to challenge myself to see what I can get done in 30 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer, and here I go. So let's start with the little pieces because those are easy. Let's see, I just have some book page here. So what I'm going to do is, I could use glue, but I've got this little Xyron sticker maker, and I don't have very much left on the roll. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this until I run out, and then I'll use glue, I guess. Well, let's just see. Normally I like to make it so I don't have as big of a space between the things I put through here. But as long as I've got this, I'm going to use it. Otherwise I would probably just use art glitter glue or something like that, which I also have. Okay, so let's get that cut off. Set him aside. And I love this little Xyron. I've used it many times. I've had it since my scrapbooking days, and so I still keep buying the rolls of sticker paper if it goes through it. But I also use glue too. But this is just fast and easy. Okay. So I'll set this aside. And so you just peel that part off. Take this part off. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that right on the edge. And I am going to put its brother right next to it. Oops. Oh no, this is going to stick to my mat now. Okay. This paper is really old. It's from a really old book that I found at a thrift store. That's what we call them here in the US. And you can just really find some great old books in the thrift stores. Okay, so let's get this little guy cut out too. I like to save these little margins for stamping words on. So I'll just to show you what I mean. So I have these little snap together stamps. I don't know if you've seen those before. I just got them and they're just a lot of fun. So try not to waste anything if I can help it. That got kind of smudged, but I think it's because the paper's really old. And then I have this CD case where I keep all of my word confetti. These Jewel CD cases are great. Okay, back to business. So just cut around the tag. Now the first thing I want to do before I do anything more on here is to take my little punch, my little tiny hole punch, and punch through this hole from this side. Because when I cover up the next side, I won't be able to see that hole anymore. So this will help me know where it is. See? Okay. All right, set that aside. Now I don't really want to use the same kind of book page for that side. Maybe I'd like to use some music sheet. So I have some vintage music sheet here, and let's go ahead and put him through the other side, or the other direction. Okay. So I've been having a lot of fun just going through my scraps, and of course I just reorganized my craft room because it was way out of hand. And one of the things I notice is that I have too many scraps that I don't ever really get around to using, and not enough embellishments. So let's kill two birds with one stone and make some embellishments out of all the scraps I have. Let's cut this down. Okay. Has anybody been watching any good shows on TV? We have been binging The Mentalist with Simon Baker, and we didn't watch it when it was on at first. We've just been watching it on Amazon Prime. Man, I don't know how we missed that show before, but it is really good. My husband and I really enjoy trying to guess who the killer is, and most of the time we're wrong, but every once in a while we're right. I usually guess about three wrong guesses, but they do such a good job on that show. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and punch the hole from the other side using that one as a guide that I already punched. And since they already give me a hole, I might as well use it, right? I'm gonna punch in a new one. Okay, so I'm gonna put these hole reinforcers on. Now, when you get hole reinforcers, the kind I like are not the plasticky ones, because they're kind of glossy. and they don't ink up very well. So I like the ones that are a little bit more flat. Let's take a vintage photo. And ink up a few of these at once. And by the way, when you're done with a page of these, this makes a really good stencil when all the little holes are, the hole reinforcers are off. Okay, let's punch you out a little bit better. That's better. Okay. Oops, let's go ahead and glue this because these have a tendency not to stick real well. So I always like to place the reinforcer before I punch the hole, and then that way I know I am getting the punch in the right place. That one kind of wanted to come over the top a little bit. That's right. Okay, so now I'll take my bigger one. Punch it out the rest of the way. Well, it's a little off center. That's okay. I'll do better on the next one. Okay. But we are on season 5. And really, really enjoying it. Okay. Now, let's see, let's go ahead and ink up the side. Actually, what I'm going to do next is round the corners. Rather than make a tag shape, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. I'm using this We Are Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dile corner jumper, and I'm going to use the 1/4 inch side. You can do, if you use the other side, then it gives you a 1/2 inch radius, but I'm going to, since these are small, I'm just going to do a 1/4 inch. Let's do them both. I'm going to file this down a little bit. This is just a sanding block, 220 grit. I have another one that's a little bit finer for, finer things. Okay. It's probably a horrible noise, isn't it? Let's go ahead and ink. All right, so a little tray of goodies out here. What do I want to put on here? Something not too big. Oh, I like that. Little violets. How cute is that? Also have some leaves, and how about this holly? Oh, I like that. Let's try that instead. This one is from South Africa. Too busy. Okay, I like that. Oh, here's a purple one right here. Wonder how I got in the red box. Okay, let's do that. Okay, do I have anything left in here? These can go side by side, I think. Can you see? I'm trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, looks like I'm running out. Yeah, it's getting really hard to pull. Yep. Okay, that's the end of the Xyron roll. That's okay. Just wanted to use it up. Just order it from Amazon. That is the 1.5 inch sticker maker if you're interested. I can put a link below. And like I said, I use these quite a lot, especially for these little things, because it's easier to put them through this way than it is to try to glue everything. And they work really well. You can buy them with let's put you back there. You can get repositionable or permanent. You can also, that didn't, okay, that must have already been on the part that didn't have any more. But you can get like magnets, you know, or laminating, you know, different things like that. Xyron has a whole family of products that they use, and sometimes you can find them at thrift stores. I know the last couple pieces that I got from their line, I found at thrift stores. Or actually, my husband found them at the thrift stores for me, which was awfully nice of him. He's always looking out for me. Same with vintage stamps, not so much at thrift stores, but at antique stores and things like that. I was going to actually ink around that holly, but I forgot. So I'll just ink around the violet a little bit. Trim a little bit on the side there. I'm using these little ripple scissors. A long time ago, a friend gave me like a whole carousel full of different kinds of scissors, and this was one of them. And I really like them. Give you a little ink. Oh goodness, I'm already at 20 minutes. I've only done 2 tags. No wonder I spend so much time in here. Put a little, I also have this little box of stash right here. With ribbon and fabric scraps, some paper scraps, just random stuff I set aside for when I'm working on a project. Snipperoo. And let's put, how about some liquid pearls? maybe a little dot right there, like a little period. Okay, set that aside for another project. And we're going to call those two done, and then, well, I better not touch that one. And then maybe later on I'll do something on the back here. But I really kind of want to work on one of these for a belly band. I really like this. So let's see if I can find. See, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this piece of wallpaper. No, I was using it for a project for a music roll journal that I like, one of those pianola rolls. So it is glued to a pianola roll. But what I'm going to do is, let's see. Let's go ahead and cover this with Fabri-Tac. And then I'll glue on the wallpaper. See what happens. The thing I like about doing this is that, you know what, if you mess up, it's already scrap, so you can just not feel bad about throwing it away. But I mean, how often is it really a disaster? I mean, it's like watching a Bob Ross painting, right? Show, because you can just call it a happy accident. I've had lots of happy accidents. How about you? Okay. Now for a project like this, I like to pull out this brayer. A little flower fell down. Okay, let's cut around it. Let's see what we've got. Sorry, I didn't mean to go out of frame like that. Save that for another project. The other thing that I would really like to do or start doing is at the end of every project, every journal that I finish, I would really like to just go and take whatever scraps I have left over and use as many of them in little tiny projects as I can. I think I'm going to sew around this. You certainly don't have to if you don't like to sew or you don't always own a sewing machine. But I think I'm going to go ahead and sew around it, and I am going to stop the camera and my timer. Okay, so I've sewn around this. I'm going to start my timer back on, but I don't even know why I bother because I'm going to go over the 30 minutes. But anyway, this is what I've come up with, and it is just, I really like it just like this, but I want to collage on it a little bit. So let's see, I've got some flowers here, some little butterflies, my little fussy cutting session. And let's see, do I want this swatch? No, I kind of like that one. And some lace and some ribbon. And I really, let's see, I've got the gold and the purple. So we'll see what ribbon I want to put on when I'm done putting the rest of this on. So let me start with the lace. And I'm just going to kind of put it on at an angle. And then, let's see, maybe I will ink around the edge of this a little bit. this wallpaper. Found a whole roll of it. It didn't even look like it had been touched. It had been open, but it didn't even look like it had been touched. And it just reminded me of a kitchen that I used to have a long time ago back in the 70s. And I just loved that kitchen and the wallpaper that I had. So it's not exactly the same thing, but I really, really liked it. So I thought that this would be perfect for journaling, for junk journals. Kind of like the way that looks so far. Kind of makes me think of time spent in the garden. Just, you know, time to reflect and think about your day. Maybe just some me time, just some, you know, take a cup of tea or a cup of coffee out into the garden and just sort of enjoy the weather, the flowers, think about spring. So I just love stopwatches. Okay, so we'll put that there. This paper that these flowers and things that I fussy cut were from, like I said, from that book, Golden Book Encyclopedias that I scored for free at a garage sale last summer. And the paper, when you cut it, it's like butter. It is just so neat to cut through it. It's soft, but it's firm at the same time. Just absolutely beautiful. Okay, smush it down. And let's get this on top of it. I could have used our glitter glue for this, but the Fabri-Tac is right there. I also like these little butterflies. They came from that book as well. Just so much fun to. I could spend hours cutting through things from this book because there are so many really pretty images, and the paper is just, like I said, it's just a joy to cut through. Are we weird people that we find so much joy in cutting paper? Let's see, we'll let him kind of hang off the edge there. And let's see, let's get this little guy on there. So I'm liking this already. Makes me, like I said, makes me think of being in a beautiful flower garden. The flower garden I've always wanted to have, but never really had. Because, I mean, I've had vegetable gardens before and had a lot of fun with them, but I've never really had a flower garden that I loved. So I have to have them vicariously through my journaling. All right, now at the top, I think I really like this purple. So let's get glob on there. What I like to do is the old smusheroo trick. Oh, okay, this is what happens when you do stuff on camera. See, I had some bling around here. Here we go. Do you guys fight with your glue like I do? think it needs a word. There's ink around the edges. Okay, so not quite 30 minutes, actually 40 minutes. But I don't think we did too badly. 2 little tags and a belly band just from scraps. And I'll fix that little glue, those little glue globs on there later. So thank you for joining me. I hope you'll come back. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.